Hello, Puny Podians. This is current day Ryan, or maybe slightly past Ryan, depending on when you're listening to this, what episode it's on the front of. Anyway, David and I have decided that we wanted to share with you some of our favorite content that we make. Our super secret spoiler show. These episodes are typically released via the Ears Up Patreon. However, we figured we're past the Infinity Saga. We might as well grab some of those Pym particles, run through the quantum realm, and release these super fun episodes from the past. A few notes before the episode starts. First, we don't have a language filter in these episodes, so Cap, cover your ears. Secondly, as the name implies, these have spoilers for everything up to and including any current releases at the time of recording. One last note, these were recorded about 2 years ago, and they undergo very, very little editing. In fact, the sound quality will kind of be what it is, and you'll kind of hear it change over time as I learn and change. Also, things we say might be a little bit out of date. We don't have Doctor Strange's time stone to be able to go back in time and correct ourselves and know the future. Anyway, I hope that you guys all enjoy this nonsense. And if you want to get these less than 2 years from when we record them, go join the Ears Up Patreon. The link is in the show notes as always. Enjoy the episode.
Thanks for visiting the TVA.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Super secret spoiler show song.
It's the super secret spoiler show, the super secret spoiler show. It's super secret. It's a spoilery secret super show, a spoilery secret super show. It's secret, super. We've always wanted to chat about the MCU. We've always wanted to spoil Marvel movies for you, so listen to us as we start to nerd out. You'll learn some things you know nothing about. Go grab a beer, lend us an ear. Won't you check our show out?
All right, everybody, welcome to the super secret spoiler show. That one's hard to say. I don't know why I decided to name it that. It's so fun. David, how are we doing, dude?
I'm doing pretty well, man. I am coming off a little vacation weekend that was super fun and just kind of catching up and not getting rolled over by work. How are things going with you, man?
You know, it is craziness over here, and I am glad to carve out some time to sit down with my buddy and talk about my favorite Christmas movie of all time.
Die Hard? Let's do it.
Talk about some Iron Man 3 and enjoy a beverage while we do it, because this is the super secret spoiler show, which means you are paying to hear us talk this nonsense. And so I'm going to get the first thank you out of the way here early and say thank you, everyone. If you are listening to this again, you are paying, and that is awesome. And I could not imagine that somebody would listen to or would pay to listen to me yammer, yet alone just listen to me yammer. So thank you here early on. So that being said, David, what you drinking?
Oh, man. So I'm drinking something. It is a beer. So again, as I always go, I go to the local beer place and let me get a beer that is somewhat themed to the movie. And this is the beer that I have for Thor Dark World, but I'm going to drink it now. And it's called, it's called King Status, and it's by Short Throw Brewing Company. And I was going to draw an analogy to something that happened in Thor the Dark World, but we haven't gotten there yet. So I'm drinking it for Tony Stark.
Nice.
How about you? It is. I should point out that it is a Um, uh, double IPA, 8.1% ABV, and let me see. Oh, it's delicious. How about you? What are you
Nice.
drinking?
That's fantastic. I am drinking, and I may have drank this on the show before. There's some part of my head that's like, I think I somehow made this work. Maybe for Hulk. No, because Hulk I did a smash for Hulk. Anyways, I am drinking Internet Friends, which is an IPA from Urban Roots Brewery, which is out in your neck of the woods, sorta.
Well familiar with it. Yep.
Um, they're in Sacramento, but yeah, so it's a IPA called Internet Friends. I chose it out of the fridge because I had nothing that really fit Iron Man 3 all that well. And so I figured I could crowbar this one in with Tony and his recalibration of ISDNs. Something internet, something friends, and internet friends.
Folks, the wheels have fallen off. We're not even ready beer wise. So,
And as is tradition now, it exploded on me. So
nice.
but I did not
As
get in the keyboard this time.
lost opportunity. I had that on my super secret spoiler show bingo card. Ryan spills beer at his keyboard. So as you mop that up, Urban Roots Brewery had it before. Sacramento based, pretty good. They sell a fair amount of down here. So I can second your recommendation. It's very good. Mine is. Where is it from? King Status Brewery. You know, this is the content you all pay for. North Haven, Connecticut. I will actually be in North Haven. I'll be in New Haven, Connecticut in about 3 weeks. So
Nice.
yeah, visit my daughter. So
Awesome.
yep.
Well, that's a lot less cleanup than the great beer explosion of Captain America. So less editing for me. You guys probably get to hear the whole cleanup and everything.
It's fine.
Because that's where we're at.
Let them see how the magic is made. No one says that. Why did I? I don't know why I said that.
That's our other shows. They're all about magic and wonder and color and wonderment.
Nah. we're about faux Christmas movies and CGI and just, in this case, Tony Stark, Iron Man 3. So
absolutely. Well, let's get into it, man. Yeah.
We curse on this show, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's been a minute.
Nah, you're good, man.
So
and full disclosure, I know we said we weren't going to do this pre-show, behind the scenes. We said we weren't going to do this, but fuck it, I'm going to do it. We are recording this well after the movie, so if there's any errors, we apologize. But yeah, let's talk about some spoilers, some secrets, some things. I think this movie, I will say this movie was one of the hardest to not talk about spoilers, like in the main episode, because as we said on the main episode, the gift of time has blessed this movie so much. I think, other than the beginning, right? The beginning's gross and there's still the grossness, and that did not age well.
no, let's go back to that. Let's go back to the getting the beak wet comment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, by the way, just spoiler, I'm gonna work that into every episode, I think. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
I need to queue up a little
so we'll get into like some of the individual moments. But the question I have for you is, and maybe as we go through them, we can kind of look at each one distinctly, but to what extent do you think they knew what they were doing? And to what extent do you think that they went back retroactively and said, oh, this is a fun line from this movie, or here's a scene that we could like play off of and allude to and or reference expressly like later on?
Yeah, I think all of the retconning that has happened is was not purposeful, right? I don't think Trevor was ever gonna come back in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I think the Mandarin obviously would have come back once they made a Shang-Chi movie, but like I don't think I think we talked about this a little bit in the main show. That the like one shot, the Hail to the King one shot, felt like them admitting some fault. I don't think that Guy Pearce, or not Guy Pearce, yes. While they were making this movie, I don't think that they necessarily knew that they were going to go back and fix it, even to the extent that the one shot fixed it, where the one shot kind of went back and said, "Hey, we knew all along this was the fake Mandarin, and the real Mandarin's pissed off." I don't know that any of that was like on anybody's mind while making this movie.
I think that's probably a fair reading of it, the correct and proper reading of it. I do, and we can kind of get into the Mandarin, and I mean, that's obviously one of the big pins from the movie, the subsequent reveal the Mandarin and the Ten Rings are real, and that Killian stole the identity, which to me, the one I still struggle with, like, okay, you have held yourself out to be the Mandarin, and like getting away with framing like all these terrorist attacks on the Mandarin. Why would he claim to be the Mandarin at the end if he actually knew the Mandarin was real? The part of, that was the circular part of like, you have to believe there's no real Mandarin. Otherwise, you are just putting a target on your back. It makes no sense whatsoever.
For sure. Yeah. And I think, like I say, that's what's interesting here is like, in the moment that this movie came out, it was awful. Like, they fucked over the Mandarin. They tarnished everything about this great Iron Man villain. And they kind of just shit on everything. And then here we are, 10, 15 years later, where we're like, oh yeah, you know what? We fixed a lot of that because we brought back in a real Mandarin. We gave Trevor another role, right? Trevor came back in 10 Rings and got to be kind of goofy. And yeah, I think looking back on it, it's way more enjoyable than it was in the moment.
I think, as I said in the main show, I think they did sort of the best they could with the Mandarin. Iron Man doesn't have on his own, he doesn't have like great villains. And Mandarin is one of his long-standing ones, and obviously was more culturally acceptable and probably more nuanced when it came out in the 60s, right? As opposed to nowadays and so they kind of journalized him and made him more homogenous, made him like an every man's terrorist or every woman's terrorist. That's more men. Who am I fooling? Every man's terrorist. Yay, men. And this was kind of like the best that they had to do. He could have fought, an offshoot of Hydra or something like that, or some sort of leftover Avengers villain, I guess. Right. Like he could have fought Ultron maybe or something like that and got his ass kicked. But they didn't. And they kind of did the best they could with it. It's not great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not apologizing for it. But there just wasn't... They knew they wanted to make an Iron Man movie. They wanted to make it quickly. Luckily, they got Ben Kingsley. And they're just like, hey, we're going to do the Mandarin story. And it does. And the last thing I'll say on the Mandarin is that I do get the sense that I think Shang-Chi at one point in time was going to be in Avengers. And so I think had that happened, I think this would have looked a lot different. It would have been maybe even like a cool Marvel team up story like they used to do all the time in the comics. And that would have been dope as hell to see.
Man, that would be, I want, maybe we're at the point in the superhero arc as far as real world timeline where like maybe team ups are the next thing, right? We're seeing a little bit of it occasionally. Like I think of She-Hulk and and Daredevil kind of teamed up there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be really cool, I think. And Falcon and
Fact with the Winter
you know what?
Soldier.
I'm backing myself into the point that we already are here. we literally are at the point where we're kind of just making those old team up comics our superhero content right now
Mm-hmm.
on film, which is awesome. I those are super fun. And it's really cool to watch your favorite heroes play together, and in not necessarily the big huge global universal threat
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
way. But instead it's like, here's these couple of guys teaming up because they live together or they live close by and something's threatening their neighborhood. Let's team them up and throw them together. So I want to see more of that though.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
The comics always had the kind of filler episodes where it's like, okay, most of the Avengers are gone for the weekend, but it's, you know, Hawkeye and the Beast, and or
Right.
whomever, or whatever, X-Men, same thing. And like, oh, we're gonna have this wacky adventure where something happens. You could definitely get away with that on TV shows, and I think certainly not like the movies. The movies have to blow things out of the water, make a ton of money. But I do, and they've done it a little bit. I think kind of like with Hawkeye, with Falcon the Winter Soldier, with a little bit of WandaVision. Like they were decidedly different stories, and I hope they do more of that.
Yeah.
Some of the more recent Marvel stuff hasn't been as great, and they're trying to introduce new characters, and they're trying to get through this whole, quantum realm stage. And, sometimes you just need a real simple story based in Hell's Kitchen, or simple story based, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be huge and you have to figure out which reality you're in. It could just be something more grounded for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it can be just be not Iron Man, like Daredevil and Spider-Man fighting mobsters.
sure.
And just call that a day. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So, we'll see. Like I said, the Mandarin, I thought, while disappointing as hell for movie fans, or for MCU, for Marvel comic fans, I don't know. It's okay on rewatch. It's not the most offensive part of the movie to me, quite frankly.
Yeah, and I think ultimately, so we've watched Thor: The Dark World since then, and both of these movies effectively tried to do the same thing, right? It was generic villain with kind of a generic plot-ish, right? The mistake that they made with Iron Man 3 was the Mandarin is not a generic villain in the comics. Whereas with Thor: The Dark World, dark elves are kind of a generic villain.
Right.
So
yeah. So portal it out for the Mandarin. Sorry about that, folks. I had to watch that.
But they're back. He gets back. He gets to be awesome. Like, honestly, the Mandarin we got in Shang-Chi was great, and seeing like the Ten Rings organization once we get to Shang-Chi, I'm excited for that. It's one of my favorite actually to rewatch. So I'm stoked when we get back to the Mandarin.
Yeah, I am too. It's been a minute. I've not seen it in a while, and I remember watching it. I was like, oh, thank God they didn't fuck this up. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. Don't get me wrong. It's not like the. I'm not going to put it in like my top 3 MCU movies, but like Simu Liu was great as Shang-Chi. It's a fun story, good villain, good action, great cinematography.
Yeah,
very rewatchable. I don't go into that one like one eye covered, but like, oh man, how bad is this is going to be? So,
but yeah. So moving on to another thing that gets brought back and was popular at the time of the movie in the comics was Pepper getting her own suit, right? So in this movie, Pepper kind of got one of Tony's suits fitting around her. In the comics at the time, Pepper was taking on the persona of rescue, For anybody who's not aware, rescue in the comic books is a completely defensive suit of armor. So Pepper had no offensive abilities as rescue. We saw that represented in this movie where like the Mark 42 envelops her during the Mandarin's attack on the Malibu home. A little bit of foreshadowing towards Endgame where she actually gets the rescue suit. It's a little bit more offensive than her abilities in the comics, but it was kind of a cool little bit of foreshadowing and cool to see her get that, as much as you might have to suspend disbelief that these metal and I would assume carbon fiber parts could fit Gwyneth Paltrow just as much as they fit Robert Downey Jr. But
So it's funny when you say that. So I believe we're talking about the Mark 42 suit, which I think when I rewatched it, I think he made for her.
You think so?
I do. I think we talked about it a little bit, but basically when he first tries it on, the pieces are flying around. He mentions it's a little tight in the crotch area, and then it was designed. He also comes to design, to your point, with her protection of mind. So when she wakes up in the middle of the night and the Mark 42 standing above her, like in a super creep mode, I kind of tend to think that he designed the Mark 42 for her. And especially when you see it in action, when you rewatch that episode or rewatch that part of the movie, it seems to me that like it's trying to protect her, not to harm her. Right. And so that's my own kind of belief. The other reason why I think it makes sense it was made for her, and I don't know how you do this, but he's way smarter than us, is that she's able to kind of instantly use it. One of the critiques I always have is like, how does this person know how to fly? How does this person know how to, do anything? Right. And the fact that she's able to kind of seamlessly maneuver suggests to me that it was specifically designed for her. I could be wrong, but that makes more sense to me.
No, that's actually a really good call out, and I actually love that. I think it's subtle, right? But I think that the evidence is there that Tony doesn't wear Mark 42 very much. Most of the time that you see him in it, you see him around it, he's like remote piloting it of some sort. So that would also lead to the it's not comfortable for Tony to be in there idea. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, his boobs are too small, right? No, I'm kidding. No, and then you see in Avengers Endgame, she's got her own suit. And so it's probably, that's an evolution of what she wore before. So
yeah.
That's the way I kind of like to think of it. And, when you think about the relationship, it's this, when I think of it in that way, that just lends a little bit more credence that he cares about her. He's concerned about her protection. It's not just all about him and his ego and his vanity, although that's a fair part of it. But he is thinking about her without her necessarily knowing it. So instead of giving her a big, oversized teddy bear, like it's like, hey, I got something better for you. Someone's going to keep you alive, if you will. So
nice. Yeah, that's very fair.
So other things that, so I thought, we see the Mandarin in real Ten Rings in Shang-Chi. You see Pepper getting her own suit later on in other movies. We see Extremis show up in Secret Invasion. That was kind of fun. By the way, Extremis sounds like it kind of sucks. Like if you want to like, I don't know. It looks to me like it's some like the keto diet, but way, 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 way worse. and it just looks like, hey, it might work for you, may not, may kill you.
Otherwise, you're gonna blow up. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the last, the one I saw that I really liked that they did this was Harley Keener showing back up in Endgame at Tony's funeral. I love that like full circle kind of thing that they did there, where like it went from the kid who was kind of he was plucky and fun in Iron Man 3.
Super plucky. Like the
um,
definition, like if you grabbed a dictionary, looked up the definition of a plucky, and there's Harley Quinn. He's like, here I am, right?
right, and then he comes back in Iron Man 3. I know there's a lot of rumors swirling that he's gonna be Iron Lad. I don't know. Now that we've
No.
introduced Kang, you have actual Iron Lad in the chess pieces, so I don't know. I don't think you bring him. I don't know that you retcon him as Iron Lad. Interestingly, Harley is also heavily used in Avengers Campus at Disney California Adventure. Um, so it's
How
actually kind
so?
of, so in the queue for Web Slingers,
Mm-hmm.
he has his own board of like here's our scientists.
Yeah.
Harley is one of the people. Also, anything that is Iron Man that's in the in-universe areas is labeled as Harley. So like the gauntlet that I have
Mm-hmm.
is technically a Harley Keener gauntlet. It's not a Iron Man gauntlet. And I think a lot of that was they I think they wanted to play into the like Iron Man's gonna be dead thing, and then they realized that's not gonna work out for them monetarily, and so they changed directions a little bit. But Harley is the stand-in for Iron Man in a lot of places in Avengers Campus, which is interesting to me.
Does it side note? Does it creep you out when you go to Avengers Campus and half the Avengers are dead?
Right? Yeah. It is always weird when you see both Captain Americas in a day. That one's always weird to
Question number 2: are you going to be bummed out when you hear that Harley is a Skrull?
me. Yeah, right. Well, and that
Yep.
actually gets us to kind of a fun game that I think we can play now on the Super Secret Spoiler Show, and I'm gonna catch us up quickly. So in Secret Invasion, if you haven't watched it yet and you want to watch it, don't listen to the next thing I'm gonna say. If you don't want to watch it, then just know you're about to get it spoiled. Big spoilers. So in Secret Invasion, it's revealed that Rhodey, Colonel James Rhodes, was a Skrull. At some point during the MCU, he became a Skrull. Since then, in interviews and such, it's been relatively confirmed that it was since Civil War. But I think it's a little bit of a fun game that we can add into the Super Secret Spoiler Show of, was Rhodey Scrody in this movie? So I'm gonna catch us up real quick. We're gonna play it for all the movies that Rhodey's been in so far in
Okay.
the MCU.
The one other consideration would be, as we go back, one other thing to consider is like, who's your most likely Skrull in the movie? Like the character you watch, you're like, I don't know, like this character, this role, this portrayal, or they did something so stupid or so off. You're just like, I have to be a Skrull. It's the only explanation.
Yeah. Which there's, I mean, shit, Tony Stark is that in this, if we're being honest.
Damn. Shots fired.
But Iron Man 1, is that Scrody or is that Rhodey?
It's Rhodey because you could say it's faux Rhodey because it was a different Rhodey.
Yeah.
No, that's real Rhodey.
Okay. I agree. I think he's very military at that point. Iron Man 2, is it Scrody?
No, I think it's still real. I think it's still real Rhodey.
I think this is the first time you have the argument for Scrody.
Really?
His personality changed. And I get it. The actor changed, right? Like real world meta reasons. Yes, absolutely. The actor changed and the characterization between Terrence Howard and Don Cheadle is very different.
I think they are. The reason why I would say no is they are back to back. They're right after one another, 1 and 2, if I'm not mistaken. And so I think the chances of that are pretty. I think it's pretty slim.
That's fair. That's fair. Was Rhodey in Avengers? I can't remember.
He was not. He was supposed to show up after the battle was over. He was actually going to show up in the shawarma scene. Be like, hey guys, what's happening? Like, just got in town, and they cut him out. Did not include him, so he was not in Avengers.
So then that leaves us this movie. Was he Scrody in Iron Man 3?
I do not believe he is a Skrull at this point in time. You?
That's fair. I would agree. I mean, other than like the argument that I just said he was in Iron Man 2, but putting that aside, nothing about this movie tells me that he would be a Skrull. He was friendly with Tony. Nothing was off, I would say, about who Rhodey was in this movie. So we'll keep playing this game anytime that Rhodey pops up in a movie. I think it'll be fun. Obviously, it's a short-lived game because at some point we know that it is Scrody, but yeah, tune back in for next time we play it.
Yeah, and most likely Skrull in this movie. I'm going to say Happy. Disappears for a while. Comes back. Could have been abducted in the hospital. You never know.
Yeah, that's fair. And so you're thinking after the man's Chinese theater explosion. That's where he becomes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Like if we were to say, and I'm actually kind of looking forward to some of the going back and looking at things and kind of wondering like, hey, who doesn't quite add up here? Right. Because there are definitely a few characters and there are a few arcs. And in fact, anyway, we won't get into it, but I was like, we talked about like who would be like, this is the saddest Skrull reveal. And I'm just thinking of like, there's just a few where it's like, man, we bummer if you're a Skrull.
Yeah.
We suck. Coulson would suck.
Oh, that'd be brutal. Yeah, that's what's kind of funny now. Honestly, if Marvel wanted to, they could use the Skrull excuse to right almost any wrong that they wanted to. Like, oh, that was a bad performance out of this actor, or oh, we wrote this person wrong at this point. Could you imagine if they scrolled? Oh, what if they scrolled Elon Musk and Bill O'Reilly from Iron Man 2?
Jesus Christ. I mean, anything is better than them actually showing
being
up.
in it.
But we're not looking at that movie, man. Like, I hate that. So,
not to drag us back.
It's just such. I remember watching that on rewatch, and I know it's coming. I kind of describe it like, if you're watching Jackass and they're doing something with like, hey, we're going to throw this baseball and onto someone's junk, and it's going to hit, and it's going to suck, and that's what it was. Like, oh, here it is. Here's Johnny Knoxville. Take one in the groin. It sucks. Anyway.
Oh man!
Spoiler alert for all the
Jackass movies.
All the Jackass movies. Spoiler alert! Everyone gets hit in the groin. So,
oh man.
Quick question though, and we kind of see this in other movies, and I want to ask you your question because in watching this movie, in watching other movies, most specifically Thor: Dark World, we've seen Loki affected by the Mind Stone. We saw him try to use it on Tony Stark. The scepter didn't work because it hit him in the chest plate. And then we see Dr. Selvig in Thor: Dark World acting just bonkers. And so the question I have for you is to what extent do you think that the Mind Stone or the after effects of the Mind Stone are just think of the worst hangover or the worst after effect of a drug? You know what I mean? Like how much does this mess you up? Because The Loki in Avengers was almost unrecognizable to me. And the only thing I can chalk it up to is the Mind Stone. And Selvig was just out of his gourd. So that always, and we've seen it with other characters as well, but just having just watched Thor Dark World, I was reminded like, maybe like these people are kind of messed up. Although Hawkeye gets hit in the head or slapped by Natasha and he's fine. So I don't know. Maybe it's a dumb theory.
No, I mean I would imagine there is some hangover effect. I think in Thor Dark World there's something said about like I had a god in my mind or something.
Yeah.
And so I do think there's some legitimacy there, and I think like not to go rehash Avengers too much, but I do think that Hawkeye in his portrayal in the MCU, he like mental things don't impact him. He's very stoic. And so like there's a lot of things that you don't see those sort of effects for Hawkeye. So I think like him being the aberration makes a lot of sense, right? And so I think there's probably some legitimacy. I don't know that Tony necessarily would have felt any hangovers from the attempt, right?
No,
because
didn't work.
It didn't really actually mess with his brain. That'd be like saying I got a contact, which I heard this in college from some people. I got a contact hangover because those guys were drinking at my house last
Totally.
night. Yeah, no, that's not how that works. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think there is a chance that I think as we look back at things through the lens of the really interconnected story, I think we could see the effects of the Mind Stone's possession on some folks in future movies for sure.
Yeah, it's something to think about. The Mind Stone is kind of, I don't know, kind of interesting. We'll probably have an episode where we just like nerd out on all the different stones. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and as of this movie, so as of Iron Man 3, we have now seen the Tesseract, which is the Power Stone. No, Reality Stone. Thank you. And then the Mind Stone in Loki's Scepter. Those are the only two stones we've seen so far. Is that right?
We see the Ether, which is
we haven't seen it in
not yet.
By the time we watched Iron Man 3,
it's the Jazz Stone.
Yeah.
No, Amethyst. No, wait, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, yeah, but I have. While this did not do much to advance the plot of as much like the Avengers and some of the other movies where they sprinkle in the Infinity Stone, so they introduce a brand new character as a standalone movie. There are parts of this movie I really liked. There are parts I really disliked. And
Stan Lee as a beauty pageant judge wasn't your favorite thing in the world?
Oh man, yeah, wasn't my fave. Was not my fave at all. I don't know.
Real quick, off the top of your head, what's your favorite Stan Lee cameo? Of all the ones, like as we're talking now.
Oh man, that's a good question. I liked him as the Avengers denier.
That one's fun, yeah.
That one's pretty fun. The part about like the one the Hulk where he dies, that's kind of a bummer. I like him a little bit. And just watched Captain America, Winter Soldier. He has a fun little cameo there. I'm trying to think. How about you? Is there anyone that jumps out for you?
Two that jump out for me. One is Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So
he's talking to the Watchers? No. Sorry.
Yeah. That's where he's talking to at least I think that was Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I might be wrong. The one where he's talking to the Watchers.
I think that's one.
I love that one. I think that one's really, really fun and like a little bit meta, right? Because it's like the guy who wrote all the stories, of course, he would talk to the Watchers. The other one that I really love, and I think it's kind of niche. It if it hits you right, it hits you right. Is the one in Captain Marvel, where he's reading his script for Mallrats.
Yeah.
Because I love his cameo in Mallrats. Like anybody who's not familiar with Mallrats, it's a Kevin Smith film. It's a little bit dated. It's got its issues, but it's got a very young Ben Affleck. It's very funny. I love that movie, and Stan Lee kind of plays a pivotal role in that movie. His cameo in that movie is kind of a pivotal role, and so to see him then in Captain Marvel, where he's basically playing himself because he's reading his script for his role in Mallrats, is perfect, and it sits in the time of that movie because that movie's set in the 90s, so sits perfectly, and that one's like way up there for my favorite.
Did you want me to do my Stanley impression on
Sure,
Mallrats?
let's hear it.
I think you want to get some help. He seems to be really hung up on superhero sex organs. No, I'm kidding. Sorry. I apologize, folks. If you haven't
Bill Cosby's in the house.
If you haven't listened to the Thor Dark World episode, I've basically been tasked with playing Bill Cosby, playing Stanley in the various cameos going forward, which I am 500% down for, and apologize in advance. But actually, don't apologize.
If we're in the apologizing mood, I should say, and even though this will release like two months after this happened, anybody who wasn't expecting Dirty Yellow Strap to drop on our feed, I'm sorry.
I don't apologize at all. I don't apologize. If you take issue or umbrage with Dirty Yellow Strap, you all can hop on a rocket to the sun. No, it's fun. Man. It's fun. And I'm bummed I missed it. I could not make it. It's a really tough argument to say to your wife, like, hey, I know today's your actual birthday. And I know we're going out to dinner, but hear me out. Hear me out. We're going to be done no later than 8:30. There's a lot of stuff open. It's fine. Like,
we even ran long on that one because we ended up finding Corliss was actually actively live while we were recording.
No. I knew that was going to happen too. Dan's like, it's going to be an hour. I'm like, whatever. Like, it's like saying one of our main show episodes is going to be 45 minutes. That's a lie. Like, yeah. So that was not one I was willing to negotiate. So bummed I missed it, but it was super fun. Recommend people listen to it. It's always good. So appreciate Dan and Eric popping on and sharing some content. It sounds like you all had a good time.
We did. Well, let's you know what? I had said before show that we would only include this if we were at 30 minutes or less before we got here, but I'm realizing that the facial hair rankings aren't going to take us like any time at all because they're fucking garbage in this movie.
Jesus Christ.
So let's get into a debate topic. So
okay.
David had an idea for kind of our shows here of a segment where like we need to take some positions, and it worked out perfectly that this would be the first one we did it. Because I have a pretty hard opinion on this movie.
Okay.
I think this is a Christmas movie.
Okay. This is a segment we're just to tee it up a little more. This is a segment we loosely call the Great Debate, and usually it could be something where one of us takes a hot take and tries to argue it. It's not like the supreme resort, but it's legitimately like this is the first movie we've disagreed on rankings and what we liked most, what we disliked. You believe it is your position that this is a Christmas movie.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I will concede that it is more than just a Christmas movie in the sense that there's a menorah in the background of one of the scenes. So it does check boxes for being a multicultural winter holiday movie.
Okay. So I think part of it is like you have to ask yourself, is it a movie that is set at Christmas time, or is it a movie where Christmas is the theme? And this is why I don't think it's a Christmas movie. Yes, it's set loosely around the end of year. So the flashback scene where Tony is, it is 1999. It is New Year's Eve. It's not Christmas time. The famous, a big line, which we all love. And then later on, it is set in December 2012. So grand shoot, it is around that time of year. But the reason I don't think it's a Christmas movie, and again, to me, throwing up a Christmas tree, saying, here's a gift, the menorah, the whatever, like that to me does not make it a holiday movie. What makes it a holiday movie is, can you take this movie out? Is the holiday a central theme to the movie? Is the movie espouse, what are supposed to be the virtues of the holiday? Or the other way I would look at it, could you take this movie and put it in a different time and the movie's the same or hits the same way? And you could set this in February. You could set this in July. It feels the same. And the last thing I would say is the big explosion at the very end where all the Mark armors are blowing up. This feels more like a New Year's Eve, a resolution, new calendar. By the way, as a side note, I hate New Year's Eve. I think it's the most garbage holiday, but it feels more like a New Year's movie than does a Christmas movie.
But he says Merry Christmas. He says, screw it, it's Christmas. It'd be right before he starts blowing everything up. What's he going to say? Screw it, it's Valentine's Day?
Sure. Screw it, it's President's Day. Screw it, it doesn't change it.
It's Flag Day.
It could be Flag Day. It could be any of those things. You're watching the whole time. And there's never, and if like the theme were like, hey man, I ended up in this weird part of Tennessee. I gotta get home. It's Christmas, and I got to get there before, Pepper flies in because we're having a big Christmas dinner and blah blah blah. And the thieves are going to break in. I got to put out the little Christmas toys for them to step on, and it's like it just doesn't feel. Do you think this is more of a Christmas movie than like? Rank, not in terms of better, what is more Christmassy, this or Home Alone?
I would say Home Alone is more Christmassy than this. I will give you that.
Is Die Hard more Christmassy than this?
I think it's pretty equal there. That feels pretty equal to me.
All those shitty claymation reindeer movies. No, I'm kidding. I love those things. I love those things so much.
Silver and gold. Oh man.
I'm Mr. Heat Miser. I'm Mr. Set. Dude, don't get me started.
Oh man, they should have. I was just reading an Iron Man comic the other day. I forget what the villain's name was. He was a villain of the issue type of villain, but he had like heat powers. It wasn't pyro or anything like that.
Okay.
But it would have been hilarious if that was the villain in this movie. And they just included a clip of just like somebody's watching that old whoever the claymation, I forget who it.
Yeah. I can't remember
who
either.
Made those.
Yes.
But Burl Ives just singing, I'm Mr. Heat Miser. And then that villain comes through. Oh, that would have been perfect with Extremis.
Yes,
they were heat powered.
I'm Mr. Extremis.
Oh, man.
I'm Mr. Mandarin. I'm Mr. Sun.
We need to stop. There's a writer's strike on. We're going to get in trouble.
It's a fair point.
Some great stuff right now.
Fair point. Now I just want to write like a whole
fucking scabs.
MCU.
Man. We're just a bunch of fucking scabs.
Bunch of scabs. These asshole wannabes. We won't resolve it here. I don't, to me, while I see it as a movie that is that is set around holiday time, but it doesn't evoke the holiday for me. It just doesn't. Like, there's little tinges. There's like, they've got the stocking and you've got Jarvis and all the other ones, but it's not, I don't know. It just doesn't, it never struck me as a Christmas movie. And when you're like, hey, this is my favorite Christmas movie, I'm like, is it?
You know what, that's fair. And I think like the other part of it that hurts my case, if I'm being honest, is the release window. This movie was released in what, July? Something like that, May. July.
I think it's May. I don't think that matters. I mean, yeah, if you release it in the holidays, I don't know, but like a bunch of Star Wars sequels are released like around Christmas time. It doesn't make it a Christmas movie per se,
for sure. But I mean, if you set a movie at Christmas, release it at Christmas, it's gonna feel more like a Christmas movie than set a movie at Christmas, release it in May. Feels less Christmas.
I think if you had tweaked the script a little bit, I think you could feel very Christmassy. I think the other thing which works against you, and I was looking for the article, I can't find the source, and I would need to confirm this, but when you go to Disney Plus, it's not under like the holidays. And
it is. That's actually one of my arguments about this being a Christmas movie, is that that Disney Plus puts it in its holiday section. I use that as a trump card against my wife, because she's with you. She argues against it being a Christmas movie, and so when I saw that it popped up as like on Disney Plus in the holiday section, I was like, ha, I have the trump card. I win.
I'm in there now. Don't make me look this up. This, by the way, riveting. Anyone who's listening to this point
absolutely,
they're like, I am
content
paying for this shit. Why? What? He's one dude searching Disney Plus, and they're talking about Christmas movies. We are in September. What the hell is happening here? No, it's a fun debate. I look forward to some other ones. I do think. What I do like this, I do appreciate the fact, like, I've never, ever once thought of it as a holiday movie. Never once. And so I appreciate your fervent enjoyment, and you turn it on. When does it first come on? Like, when's it?
For me, the first day I watch it is the day after Thanksgiving, because, again, this is a hard position that I hold. Tends to drive my wife nuts, but I am a no Christmas before Thanksgiving guy. I love Christmas. I love decorating for Christmas. I'm a fan of the holiday. I have a village. I go the whole nine, but like, I literally have a playlist that replaces all of my music with Christmas music as soon as the clock strikes midnight on the day after Thanksgiving. Like, I will not do it until the day after Thanksgiving, but once that hits, I go hard. And so, yeah, it's the day after Thanksgiving, usually while I'm decorating. Although these days, because work has me working on Black Friday more and more, it means that it'll be the Saturday after Thanksgiving if we're being technical. But the spirit of it is the day after Thanksgiving.
Okay, fair enough. I like it. If nothing else, I like the tradition. And if this is your tradition movie. Remember one year, the kids like Home Alone. We're like, all right, kids, we're going to watch all the Home Alone. They're like, there's more than one. I'm like, oh yeah, there's more than one. 2 into it. Great. New York City, except for the Trump part.
I was going to say.
Except for that part.
Talk about some troubling cameos.
Is that the worst? Anyway, then you get to 3, 4, and 5, and those are unrecognizable. They get to 5, and it is bleak. So
yeah,
I don't encourage anyone to do that.
I guess this year now I have a choice. Like, do I rewatch Hawkeye, which also is very Christmassy, very Christmas themed, and I would say, in the spirit of your comparison game of like what's more Christmassy, I would say Hawkeye is more Christmassy than Iron Man 3.
Who's trying to get home? Who's trying to get home for holidays, for Christmas? He's talking to his wife, and he's like, "Hey, Went to New York, took kids to play, trying to get back. Like that feels like, and they could have, like I said, they could have tweaked a couple things. Could have been Tennessee, like, messages pepper through the Iron Man suit, like, oh, I'll be home for Christmas, honey. Love you.
Yeah.
Bye bye. But it's fine. It's not.
And
By
now
the
we
way,
have the Guardians Christmas special too. So
which, if you're listening to this and you've not seen it, I want you to stop and just go watch it. It's good.
that's true. You know what? Thinking about what movies you could watch from the MCU for holidays. I'm trying to think. Are there anything else that you can think of that matches up with any holiday? It doesn't have to be Christmas.
So, and on the Disney Plus, well, okay, they've got Jesus Christ, they've got Home Alone 3, 4, and 5. I don't recommend that. Those are all awful. Probably number one. You could do like Miracle on 34th Street or Remember for Christmas. It's pretty solid.
Live like Jack and Sally.
And they got the Santa Claus stuff with Tim Allen, but like
Yeah,
that's all garbage. That's all horseshit.
But no, I'm thinking Marvel movies you could watch for any it doesn't have to be Christmas time. Marvel movies that match up with other holidays. So this will probably release, if I'm counting right, sometime in spooky season.
Okay.
So is there Halloween-y Marvel stuff?
I don't think they've really. I think it's been kind of time agnostic. Even
you know what there is? Werewolf by Night.
Oh yeah, Werewolf by Night's good. You rarely. That's what's funny is when you watch the movies, you rarely get a sense for like the month it's even in. I was just going through everything I've recently rewatched, and I'm like, I can't even see where it's like fall in, at Stark Tower, or it's fall in New York City, or winter or springtime. Like you just can't really tell. It's like Hawkeye, you get it. Not that many though.
Watch Captain America on 4th of July, I guess.
So dumb. But yeah, so that was the not so great debate, which brings us.
It developed well, but let's talk about facial hair. I think is where you're headed, right?
Okay. I'm talking about facial hair. So, so Ryan, you've already kind of shit on this from a facial hair ranking. We have
so bad.
Very little facial hair. I counted 4 people with facial hair. I even looked at the background at the bar. There might have been someone, but it was unlikely. So it's a bunch of like fresh faces. So you've got, in alphabetical order, current day Tony Stark, the classic kind of like, I don't want to say kind of chin strappy, but very kind of articulated beard. You've got flashback Tony Stark. You have what might be the saddest, which is flashback Happy Hogan, which is just depressing.
Although he has the best mullet. He does have the best mullet of the movie.
So hard to watch. So when George Lucas went and revisited the original movies and he added a bunch of shit. Hey guys, I'm here. I'm right here. You know that you like Darth Vader, right? You want to see when he was a kid? Anyway, if he could just go back, if he could just knock on the door, Kevin Feige's like, hey man, can you just delete all that first section? The movie would be so much better. And the fourth person you have is Gary, aka Van Guy, who's got his tribute Tony Stark facial hair. I'm going to ask you who has the best and worst facial hair of that group. Current day Tony Stark, flashback Tony Stark, Happy Hogan, or Gary the Van Guy.
I'm going to say worst goes to Happy Hogan.
Without question.
Yeah.
That was awful. Awful.
Yeah. Best is an interesting word for this, but I'm gonna go with Gary the Van Guy, mostly because I just love that character and I think he needs a little bit more shine, and there's really not great facial hair here, so I'm gonna use the time to just say Gary is really fun. He's a very fun character, and his copy of Hispanic Scott. That's who has the best facial hair. Is his tattoo of Hispanic Scott Baio.
Okay, fair enough. You know what? I'm with you. I'm with you. Jesus Christ. I am now. My mind is just racing. Yeah, I think Gary's was also very earnest. I think.
Yeah.
The look. I'm looking up photos as we speak. The whatever the hell was going on with Happy Hogan with Jon Favreau. What the hell's happening? I look at him and it occurs to me he's got the bolo tie and the black suit, and the white shirt, and the haircut, and the toffle, and I'm like, were you looking at were you an extra in Pulp Fiction? Like what? I don't know what the fuck is going on here.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. All right, so that leads us to probably, I think, America's favorite segment, which is if you were to cast everyone's favorite, still not cast in the official MCU, actor of all time, sweetheart of the show, hit us up if you ever want to be on, Nicolas Cage. You have to cast him in this movie in a role that's not just him, holding open the door of a cab or something like that. Like, who would you cast Nicolas Cage in this movie?
Should we disqualify the role of Trevor?
What the fuck? Wash your mouth out. What are you talking about?
Because it's the obvious. It's he would be fantastic as Trevor.
He'd be pretty good as Trevor. Okay, it's fair enough. You know what? Fair enough. Trevor is excluded. I almost worry though if he were Trevor. Because he's so meta, I worry that he would come up with like Asian makeup and stuff, and they've changed his eye opening and just they make it the most racist. Like, oh no, you went.
Oh,
right,
like full yellow face.
Yeah. He's doing. He is. Oh, what's the name? Mickey. What's his name?
Mickey Rooney.
Yeah. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Okay, but we'll put him aside because Trevor's Trevor. Who's your next choice?
Oh man. I think in this movie, he replaces Jon Favreau and he takes on the role of Happy.
Wow. Why?
Badges. If for no other reason, the security scene at the beginning would be so good with Nick Cage and yeah, I think it'd be super fun to see Nick Cage play that role.
Okay.
I know it's a limited role because he spends a lot of the movie laid up. But he would even overact that. He'd be eye acting the shit out of a comatose patient.
Yeah. No, he would demand too much screen time. It would be too much. My choice is I would have him play Aldrich Killian, but only the 1999 scene. And so he is only with the long, scraggly hair,
nerdy,
Mr. Stark, nerdy, hunched over. Hey, do you want to invest in a Mr. Stark? Do you want to invest in? And I'm like, hey, man, the movie's 5 minutes long. This is all there is. You have one of the lead roles. And I would not tell him about the rest of the movie because I don't want him to ruin it by just hamming it up. Him on Extremis, man, I don't want to see that. He would just be. I can't. I'm trying to put into words. Like, he'd just be too much. I feel like if I watched him, I would be on Extremis because I feel it would burn me up and set me on fire because it would just be like too much. It would be way too much. So that would be my choice. Aldrich Killian, but just for the first half of the movie. So
that's fair. That's fair. Well, I'm gonna something super off topic, but it's probably the last time that this will fit in. I recently rewatched Chef. If you
okay,
are an MCU fan, go watch Chef. It is so good, and I forgot Robert Downey Jr. was in that movie. John Favreau is the main character. He plays a chef who's like trying to uh reinvigorate his life, kind of. If you are a food fan at all, it is very food centric, and John Favreau actually did a lot of like work to understand kitchens and to understand cooking for it. And I also know it's also a little bit of an analogy for John Favreau's experience with the MCU.
yep,
And watching it with that in mind was actually really interesting. But I would definitely suggest to anyone, and this is one of the last times where this will fit in, and so I'm going to weasel it in here. Go watch that movie. Like, it is excellent, and all your MCU friends show up in it. You know, Scarlett Johansson plays a pretty big role in it, and like I say, Robert Downey Jr. is in it with John Favreau. So it's kind of like watching another Iron Man movie in a way, because it's, even though they're not the same characters, you know, it's the same people with some of the same attitudes, which is pretty fun.
that's cool. Yeah, I remember him talking about him doing Chef afterwards, and that it was kind of cathartic for him. So I've been meaning to watch it in that light.
Yeah.
But I got to get through with Bear. I'm just behind on stuff.
That's fair. I haven't watched Bear yet.
It's really good. I'm just so far behind on stuff. But I remember David Chang. I heard him being interviewed. I think it was Bill Simmons. But basically, like,
That would make sense.
like, but he asked him, like, and this, if you guys, and again, this is now Kitchen Talk, the podcast series. But just said, like, David Chang says, he nails it in The Bear. Like, he nails what it is like running a kitchen. Like, he was amazed that he was like, someone who wrote that series has absolutely worked in kitchen and opened up a restaurant, which I thought was kind of fascinating. So anything which is that, like, kind of authentic, and I like cooking, and I mean, you know, you do as well, I'll give it a watch. So
Yeah.
it is.
That's why I've been like hesitant to, because I've lived that kitchen. I mean, I worked in a college dorm kitchen, which is not necessarily anything like anything else, but I know that it conveys the like stress of a kitchen so well, and so I'm like, I don't know that I want to watch that, because that sounds brutal, but I also know that I want to watch it. So anyways, getting away from kitchen talk, yeah, so as of recording, you will have heard us talk about Thor: The Dark World. You know that things are getting a little bit weird with the Monthly Bugle. We're going to keep working with that slot with writer strikes and actor strikes on. Monthly Bugle is unfortunately going to become a little bit repetitive of just like, this project got backed up, that project got backed up, and I'm kind of falling out of love with giving that side of the news. And so we're gonna try and use that release slot for more interesting ideas that we have as we kind of go forward. You know, we do stand with the guilds, both the writers and actors guilds. One little bit of Marvel news that's kind of cool, David, I don't know if you saw it in that vein, is that the MCU VFX folks unionized this
That's
week.
cool. Good for them.
Excited for that, but that's really all the news there is to cover right now.
Well, one thing we could do, and I'll throw this out here, Ryan, and we didn't talk about this before, but in the Bugle, if there's not much content coming out new, maybe that's an opportunity for like both of us to talk about like comic book we liked and what kind of got us in the MCU. We could There's plenty of storylines, things we could talk about that, they're kind of crossover. So something to think about as we are in strike day number 5,000 of the writers. So,
yeah. And Bobby Iger is still out here saying A24 is just totally unreasonable because they're actually doing what the writers want.
Dude, you should listen. You should read this. Side note, read that CNBC article that talks about the succession plan between him and Bob Chapek. I'm not sure that Bob Chapek's the asshole here. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm going to, if we have nothing to talk about, I'm just going to read the CNBC article that is, thousands of words long, and it'll fill up the time. But anyway,
that's fair. But no, so anybody who's listening to this, please know that we know that slot's getting a little bit weird right now, and we appreciate you supporting nonetheless. If you're listening to this, like I said in the beginning, you are paying for it, which I cannot even imagine that. So I appreciate it again, very, very, very genuinely from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you for your support.
If
no debt, go ahead.
If you've made it this far, and if you have email, if you send us an email, Ryan, what's our email address?
punypod@earsup-podcast.com.
We will send you a recipe. Just tell us what your favorite food is, and we will. My mom was a caterer. Like I have tons of recipes. Send me an email. I'll send you a recipe.
And legitimately, if anybody is listening this far and you've made it this far, and you want swag from the show, we have coasters. I have a pack of coasters sitting upstairs with Puny Pod on it. I have stickers. I have business cards. Send us a quick email with your address, your mailing address, and I will absolutely send you some fun swag. Because I think that's the least I could do. So again, thank you everybody for listening. Truly appreciate it. Our next main show release will be, as of this recording, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. As of this release, you're probably gonna see the next one be Guardians of the Galaxy, if I have my timing correct.
Or we might just jump ahead and just do Eternals. No? Never mind.
I love Eternals, but we'll save it for that show. But yeah, thank you again, everybody, and we will catch you on the next one. Sweet.
Enough said?
Maybe? No, I think that's all.
Wrong show. Fresh baked?
Fresh baked. Oh, man. Okay.
It cracked. I know it's coming every single time.